Hi, I'm going to teach you how to make my very easy, very yummy meatloaf. I got the recipe from my friend Leanne, and it's her family's recipe. I've changed it a little bit, but it's very similar. What I start off with is 2 pounds of ground meat. Today I'm using 2 pounds of 93% lean ground beef. Sometimes I split it 50-50 and I use ground turkey or ground chicken or ground pork, but regardless, always make sure it's very lean and it will hold together better. In addition, I have a can of cream of mushroom soup. I believe it's about a half a cup of dried breadcrumbs. Since I did not have breadcrumbs as usual, I used the crackers and I crunched them up. These are French fried onions, and I crunch those up to dissolve better in the meatloaf. And it calls for minced onion, and I always use a 1/4 cup of the dried minced onion. You can also use fresh, but I prefer the dry. And I'll use a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 egg, a half a teaspoon of pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. And that will be everything that goes into the meatloaf. On top of the meatloaf, I will be making a sauce using the rest of the cream of mushroom sauce soup, ketchup, and some brown sugar. And then on top of all of that, I'm going to put some more dried French fried onions on top of all of that at the end, and that makes it really good. So here goes. So we can put in the meat, and then you just use half of the cream of mushroom soup at this point. The other half will go in making the sauce that goes on top. Breadcrumbs, fried onions, dried onion, tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 egg, and the salt and pepper. Okay, well I've got it all mixed together really well, and so now what I'm going to do is move it to this glass pan. I don't normally use a loaf pan. I prefer the glass pan myself, but you can put it in any kind of pan. You just put all the meat in there, and then I just shape it into a large, well, what I will do this time is I'm going to shape it into 2 loaves. Oftentimes when I make this, I make 1 loaf for our family, and then I like to make 1 loaf to share. For you, Dad, you could make 1 loaf to eat and then 1 loaf to freeze. And it probably would be better for you if you froze it before you baked it. So then you could just pull it out of the freezer and thaw it out and cook it, and then you could have fresh meatloaf a second time. So it's just that easy. Make sure to save some for the next day. These make really good meatloaf sandwiches too. And the next thing I'm going to do is take it over to the oven, and I have it at 350, and we're going to cook it for, oh goodness, I don't see how long, but I'll let you know in the recipe. Thanks. Make the topping for the meatloaf. You start off with, you heat it up, and I'm using a 1/4 cup of water, and put that in a pan with a 1/4 cup of you know what, I got the wrong size. It's a half a cup of ketchup. It's a half a cup of ketchup, and then a pack, and then the other half of the cream of mushroom soup. And I like 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And I also like more of the dried onions. This is a tablespoon. You'll notice I use a lot of dried onion in all my cooking. So what I'm doing now is I'm stirring this all together, get the water and the cream of mushroom soup all stirred together. The vinegar and the ketchup is making me cough. Well, what I'll do is I'll stir this until the cream of mushroom soup is fully dissolved. And after the meatloaf is fully cooked, I will put this on top of the meatloaf with some French fried onions and put it in the warm oven for about 5 or 10 minutes while I finish up my dinner. Thank you. Okay, well we cooked it for about 90 minutes, and afterwards put the sauce on top. And now I'm cutting the meatloaf, and as you can see, 90 minutes, it's done perfectly. And the three of us are sharing it, so I'm going to have 2 pieces because I'm starving. I don't know if that looks like a little bit too much. Maybe not. And with that, we are adding some cheesy cauliflower that we had in the freezer. That's more cheese than cauliflower, so yum. And Zoe made a spinach salad. Now, is that a nice meal or what? Super yummy. And hopefully super tasty. Really good. Love all the onion in it. The ketchup on top is absolutely delicious. And just a really yummy meal. Hope you enjoy. Love you.